Good morning, y'all. How y'all doing this morning? Me, I am doing good. It's kind of gloomy outside, but I want to say something to those of y'all that comment on my platform about the Country Wayne skits. I need y'all to understand that I play devil's advocate, okay? I don't want nobody to even think that I condone any negative behavior because I don't. I don't condone somebody sleeping with somebody else's husband. I don't condone any of that. But at the same time, I've got to play devil's advocate because it's more than just about the fact of, you know, the fact of the infidelity and the pain that come with it. But what people don't understand is what you do does come back to bite you. It does. So when you do things negative, it comes back to bite you. It always does. But I was watching something yesterday, and it was about the fact of a young girl that paid $10,200 for their mother and father's anniversary party and wasn't even invited. Then she cut everybody off, and then they got mad because they cut her off because she cut everybody off. Um, it just comes a time where people need to understand that in these particular situations that everybody goes through something, and the fact that I don't, like I said, I don't condone negative behavior in any capacity. Do I condone it? Do I think it's right? Because I don't think that negativity is right, but at the same time, do I have to understand it? Yes, because sometimes there are people out here that do things because they feel it's a necessity, or they did it because they felt like their back was against the wall, or they hit rock bottom and they just were trying to fight their way up, and they felt like the only way they could do it is a fast way. So there's many different things that can be the cause of why people do stuff negative. But again, do I condone negative behavior? I absolutely do not condone it at all. I don't think it's right. I think it's wrong, and I don't recommend anybody do it. But I know there are extenuating circumstances where people do things, and it's about understanding. So when you're sitting here and you're breaking down these Country Wayne skits, you need to understand that there are going to be cases where negative people are going to get away with things. And I saw the skit with Shayla and Anthony, and a lot of y'all talking about that baby is not his. Him and no, they're not. Let me explain why. Wayne already said he's not going there about that baby. That baby's going to be his. That y'all can just cancel Christmas on that. They're not going to turn around and say that baby is not his. If that was the case, they would have done it by now. They're not going to do that. So the bottom line is Shayla and Anthony are going to be together, and that's just it on that, and y'all just got to accept that and let that be that. But at the end of the day, what is going to hit him like a ton of bricks is going to be when this divorce goes public, and it comes out, because the one thing about Fulton County, if that's where they're going to be having divorce at, is public record. So if you are someone that's in the public eye or someone that's successful, that mess pulls up. So when business people start looking you up, and they look at your marriage, and they look at the fact that he went and slept with her best friend and got her pregnant, that don't look good to a business person. So again, right now, like I said, y'all got to understand these Country Wayne skits, these men are never going to take accountability, and they're always going to be the winners in this situation. Does it make it right? No, it don't. In no way, shape, form, or fashion does it make it right. But this is something that we see all the time when it comes down to these situations. So when it comes to women, a lot of men do not, they don't have to be, held accountable. Like I said. But do I think it's right? No. But for those of y'all that are sitting here talking about, well, Amber did it doesn't matter when somebody did something. I'm so sick of y'all talking about, well, it was before the marriage. It don't matter. If you love somebody, you are not going to cheat on them. I don't care. If you really love somebody, in no way, shape, or fashion are you going to be cheating on them for any way at all. If you love them, you're just not going to do it. Why in the world would you be cheating on somebody for? For what? For a temporary thrill that ain't going to last? So no, it ain't worth all of that. So no. If that girl really loved Anthony, she would have never slept with Wayne. At the end of the day, she is going through her karma, but Anthony will eventually go through his. But there's a reason why Anthony's not gonna go through any type of karma. That is because he got people that's always gonna support him. He got Chase, he's got Roe, he's got Piari, he's got no Dalen does hold him accountable. But he's got Piari, he's got too many people that's never gonna make him have to be held accountable. They're gonna make excuses for him. And because of that, that's why he's never gonna have to take accountability for nothing. So at the end of the day, does that make it right? No. Does it make with anything that Anthony nor Amber did right? No, it don't. It don't matter if it's male or female. It don't matter if it was before the vows. It don't matter. The point is, even when you're in a romantic relationship, whatever you do in that romantic relationship is going to lead into your marriage. So it doesn't matter at this point. The point is, she did stuff that was wrong. He did something that was wrong, and that's just it. So neither one of them are innocent. Neither one of them is any less guilty than the other. And that's just it on that. So if you a godly person, you're not going to look at this as, oh, it was before the wedding or this was before the marriage. No, it don't matter. She was in the wrong. She's the one that ushered it in. She's the one that introduced Shayla to Anthony in the first place. Just like with Brittany. She's the one that basically told Brittany she wasn't going to pursue him. So at the end of the day, this all falls on her. And like I said, she's got to take accountability for her part in it and say, you know what? I am the one that chose these friends. I'm the one that brought these people in. Now that I am learning this, now that I know this, now I'm going to do things differently. And right now, we're not seeing Amber do anything different when it comes to her friends. She's still allowing the same situation, which is why Brittany is with Kelvin. Which I don't think they should have went that way, but that's the way they went. I would have loved to just seen, Brittany and Dalen and Kelvin actually, going out on dates and having a great time. And then seeing, Dalen and Brittany's relationship really work out. But that ain't what they did. In these Kountry Wayne skits, that's not what they're going to do. It's just like this situation with Nina. It's becoming really scary. The fact that this girl is stalking him the way that she's stalking him is really becoming dangerous. Like I said, does it make it right? No, it don't. But I understand. But at the end of the day, we just wanted a wedding. We ain't gonna get it. We're not gonna get Lawrence and Erica getting married because DC and her gonna get back together. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. So, like I said, does it in any way make it right? No, it don't. It don't make it right, period. But at the end of the day, it's just something that, we all have to come to terms with. So I'm not thrilled about the fact of any of this. The fact that, Anthony is winning. You ain't never going to hear me sit up here and say that I'm happy about Anthony winning and that Anthony should be getting away with what he's getting away with. In no way, shape, form, or fashion, you're going to hear me say that. I would not say that about Amber. When Amber was doing it, I thought it was wrong. So don't get me wrong. I hold both of them accountable, not just one. I hold both of them accountable because both of them are in the wrong. But in the end of this situation, what's done is done, and you have to take what comes with it. And eventually, Shayla and Anthony are going to have to take what come with it. So in the end, you just got to just, let it be that. So like I said, does any of this make it right? No, it don't. But in the end, the only thing you can do is watch it play out. And you yourself learn from the situation and let it be that. So that's pretty much all you can do at this point in the juncture. So like I said, does it make it right what, Anthony is doing? No. Do I like what he's doing? Y'all know the answer to that. The answer is no. But in the end, like I said, in these situations, people have their reasons for why they do whatever it is that they do. And in the end, like I said,